Hey guys, God Guy here. So I'm looking at Ukraine right now. So we had in the Z3 Discord, Chris Harris with Z3. He posted a dream about Ukraine, and me being myself, I was like, I should ask God for a dream about Ukraine too. And I'll show you his dream real quick. He put it in the crypto dream room on the Discord. And I'll put the link in the description for both Z3 Discord and my own Discord. Um, but this is what he said about Ukraine. He said his name is Jesus is Lord. So he said, "Hi Z3, I have an important dream to share that I had this morning. The dream was very short. In the dream, I saw a map centered on Ukraine, showing a large area around Ukraine into Europe, Russia. I then heard the words small world war and woke up. I prayed for confirmation and heard the words short world war. I prayed again and didn't receive any indication it was from the enemy. I believe this is from the Lord. Right now, the markets are seeming to recover, but for what I shared recently to occur, where the news reporter was saying world markets were nosediving, I imagine we are going to see a major escalation in war in this region. Also, on the ninth, um, the 9th of February, 2022, I had a dream where I heard April crash. I prayed after I woke up and heard, surely it is coming. I prayed again and received nothing to indicate that it was from the enemy. I believe this also is from the Lord, and there will be a crash in April. I don't know if this is the flash crash. I am expecting that imminently, or a world market crash. I had waited until now, but felt led to share publicly. Please seek the Lord Jesus Christ. God bless you, Christopher. So I do think it's from the Lord. When I first read it, I thought it was from the Lord because it was a short dream, and I mean that doesn't really mean anything. But usually, like if the Lord gives you something really short and it's very important looking, it's more likely from the Lord. I don't know, but like basically, I just thought it was from the Lord when I read it because I wanted to hear this, I guess. But I prayed after I read it because I had been hoping that the Allied forces would help Ukraine instead of just watching them die from the country border. It's kind of disheartening to hear that. Um, we have a lot of guys in the military on the border, and I was in the army, and I would have wanted to have defended Ukraine. And even right now, I was thinking to just hop on a plane and head over there. But I don't think I asked the Lord about it. I told him that if He wants me to go, I'll go. If He tells me to go, I'll go. But if not, I'll stay here because I have stuff to do here that I don't want to say it's more important than Ukraine, but I feel like I'm about to be, I don't know. Like I want to see this flash crash go for. I don't know if it's greed or cowardice or whatever, but like I just don't feel led to go to Ukraine right now, even though I want to. If I didn't have anything going on right now in life, I would want to go for sure. And also, I don't really have the money to get over there, but I have the money basically to get there, but not to come back. So I'd be fucked. So excuse me. Um, so I don't know, like whatever. I'm a coward, but I do want to see our military go in because it's the right thing to do. It's what they literally train for. I mean, I was in the military. I wanted to do this kind of stuff. So hopefully, like we send our guys in. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I prayed to God, and I read this. The timestamp is Feb 9 p.m. basically today. So it just turned to the next day. But basically, I had prayed to God after I saw that, and this is what I got, guys. So I woke up. I'm just gonna read it off. It's hard to discern this dream. Okay, so I woke up like literally 11 p.m. So I read Chris Harris's post at 9. I went to bed at like 9:30, and I woke up at like 11 p.m. with this dream, and I was not tired at all. Like I couldn't go back to sleep. So I was like, shoot, I guess I should. Like I don't know, I just wasn't tired after I got the dream. So I felt the need to, even though I got to work tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. I'll just tough it out, I guess. But so I just felt like I should use this time to post it. So here's what the dream says. It's hard to discern this dream, and I was hesitant about posting it. But lately, I've been playing this game Foxhole, and I had a dream about Ukraine that took on imagery like it was a part of that game Foxhole. It was very hard to understand what exactly was happening. It looked like I was spamming trucks into Kiev, like I saw in the game inventory. Like when you go into like an encampment, you can see like, or like a seaport, you can see stockpiled equipment. So it's kind of it's very militaristic. It's like World War I or World War II style technology. Um, but the person I was playing against was matching the trucks. So like I was putting basically like there was I was spamming like armored trucks, like World War II style armored trucks, like with like mounted cannons on them. But they weren't tanks. They weren't tanks. They were like Humvees with machine guns on them. I guess would be like a modern equivalent. It wasn't like heavy stuff. It was like medium to light type vehicles. It wasn't tanks. Uh, and it was we were just putting those vehicles into Kiev, which isn't in that game, but it was translated in the dream as this is where it is. Um, and the person I was playing against was matching them. Like every time I would send in a shipment of trucks, the enemy would also send in a shipment of trucks into Kiev. Um, and it was like that for a while. It happened like I don't know 4 or 5 times. So where we just I sent trucks in, they sent trucks in, I sent trucks in, they sent trucks in. It doesn't make any sense really in the game because the enemy can't access the building to send the trucks in, um, to like package them and send them in. But like that's how it was played out in the game. I'm sorry, in the dream. But eventually they left the town of Kiev, and we had a bunch of trucks like supplied Humvees in the town, storage unit, I guess. And the infantry left the town to defend the countryside, so we had defended the town. So in the game, like infantry is really important to protect against vehicles. They have to go out ahead, but I think it's more symbolic for what's going to happen in real life. Is that there's going to be a lot of. Let me just read the dream, and I'll give my interpretation. And Kiev and the infantry left the town to defend the countryside, so we had defended the town. It's a very rough translation, as it was hard to tell if the dream was a flesh dream about a video game or about Ukraine crisis, but about the Ukraine crisis. But after I saw Chris Harris dream about Ukraine, I asked the Lord for one before bed, and just now woke up. I asked the Lord, and just now woke up for a couple hours later from this dream. So about an hour and a half later, I woke up. That the Ukrainian capital Kiev will be defended with trucks, and the fighting will move to the countryside and be mainly an infantry defense with a lot of armored vehicles in reserve at the capital in the near future. At the end of the dream, I knew what it represented in my spirit, but until the end of the dream, it was hard to tell what anything meant. So I knew what was going on up until like when I was spamming, I knew where it was. Like I knew in my spirit where the trucks were going. They were going to Kiev, and it's kind of like a real time strategy game, guys. So like you have like a base with stuff in it, and you can supply it. So we were supplying Kiev with trucks, and there was fighting going on in Kiev, and we were able to push them back. And once they left, all the trucks just stayed in Kiev. It was really stocked with trucks. And it looked like the infantry continued on without vehicle support. I don't know if that's going to happen in real life, but that's what happened in the dream. It was like, you know, so they basically were able to defend the Ukrainian capital Kiev, but keep like all the vehicles there, and then continue the battle with infantry. And how that relates to, you know, world politics right now, I think, is that basically like there's a lot of fear about nuclear weapons being involved if we really escalate the war. So if we were to bring in like everything, the Russians would feel like they have to nuke us or something like that. They would feel more comfortable that people would understand that they have to, nuke us to like defend themselves, even though they're the aggressors. So what I think this dream is symbolizing in relation with Chris Harris's World War dream, Small World War, is that this really is a small conflict in the history of the world. Like when we look at the invasion of Poland in in uh, in history in World War II. So let's look at the invasion of Poland. It involved like 3 million soldiers, tons of tanks, like all kinds of stuff. So like the Nazis had 2 million plus soldiers. The Poles had 1 million soldiers. They had lots of tanks, air like tons. Like the Nazis had like 3,000 tanks, and the Poles had some tanks, but there was like millions of people died. I'm sorry, not millions of people died. They had 675,000 captured. That's what it looked like. It make it look like a million people died, but um, basically like 125,000 people died in on both sides in soldiers, like in total. This isn't nowhere near that right now, so it's kind of small. You know what I mean? Compared, like I think they have only like 1 to 2,000 casualties right now, but it's only been like the third day. So that Polish war lasted 35 days, and it so like at that rate, yeah, it's still much smaller than what had happened to start World War II. So what I'm thinking right now, according to these dreams, is that Allied forces are going to supply Kiev with a bunch of trucks, and they're just going to leave them at the capital to defend the Ukrainian capital. But they're not going to move. They're not going to move like further east. Like I should just, but that's where the capital is. They're not going to move over here because they're worried about getting nuked. So they're just going to defend the Ukrainian capital with the trucks, according to the dream. Because I don't think um, Kiev can build all those trucks that I saw in the dream. Like they have to be supplied. You know what I mean? So if it's a small world war, like Chris Harris is saying, then that means that the allies are going to get involved and they're going to supply them. So they're probably going to send in trucks and then expect the infantry to defend, to continue the war, because they're going to be worried about, like a big bomb, like a nuke. So that's just my interpretation. I didn't have a dream about a nuke or anything like that. But that's what I'm like figuring is like the strategy of why, like, and it may just be like a temporary dream. Like it might just be like for right now, like they're going to defend Ukraine with the trucks, and then the infantry is going to continue out like right here and just clear them out, and then they're going to continue with the trucks further east. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But that's where it ended, was at Kiev. Was the trucks were at Kiev, and the infantry defended the town, started pushing them back east. So I don't know what they're gonna do with the trucks. They might just leave them there. That's what I'm thinking. But like they might bring them out east further. I don't know. But that's what the dream was saying, is that Ukrainian capital Kiev would be defended with trucks. So that's my dream I had. Now getting on to Bitcoin, I am expecting it to go back to 42,000 and then do a flash crash to 35K, and we should see um, like like the stuff that has been dreamed about, with the correlated dreams, the confirming dreams. When it had dropped from 42,000, it was happening fast to 35K. It wasn't like what we saw this past couple weeks where it was like up and down, all the way to 35K. It was supposed to be happening a lot faster than what we just saw. So I'm thinking that means that we're going to head back up to 42K. I don't know for sure though, but that's probably what's going to happen. And then like if Chris Harris was saying that he had saw that there was a April crash, that might mean that it might take us like a month and a half to get there. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's coming soon. Like it shouldn't, I mean, at the latest would be like the end of April, I guess, because there's another guy that had said that it was, let me read it out. So here's some more dreams I got for you guys. So, yesterday, Thursday, February 24th, Chris Harris said he saw a screen with a female news anchor reporting that markets were nosediving. There was a feeling of intensity and they were crashing severely. In a separate brief vision, I saw a Christian celebrating after the flash crash had happened. God bless you, Christopher. And then St. John '07, he gave a confirming dream of this. He said, I went to sleep very late after watching the 34K drop that had just happened, when we had dropped from like 36K to 30 high 34K, asking the Lord about the flash crash to zero, and had a dream. I was looking at the phone KuCoin app and I saw Bitcoin at 15K. It was like I already knew Bitcoin was at 15K since I was not surprised. Then I suddenly, it was dropping all the way to one and then zero, suddenly. Not sure if this is a prophetic or from the flesh, for your prayerful consideration. So, seeing as the timing, and it was like, it's pretty close timing, and it's very similar message in the dream. Like, we can be sure that it's from the Lord. Um, the only reason it wouldn't be is if people are colluding, but that's not happening right now. I'm not worried about people colluding right now. Like, once this stuff happens and this flash crash actually happens and people see that this is actually real, then yeah, I would start to be worried about people like colluding on dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because like that is an actual possibility that people would do. But right now, I don't feel like the group is compromised. Um, so like, let's see, what was I gonna say about the timing? Okay, here's another one. Was in the living room with my wife, who was having a little nap. Then I looked at my phone and noticed that Bitcoin was going down. At some point, it was around $25, then dropped around four, then zero. I was all excited, trying to wake wifey up and let her see the chart. Um, so yeah, it's basically like that. I'm trying to find something about where. Uh, okay. This is cool. Is that Ho Young posted one of his Korean brothers? He said that this guy basically was reading the news and saw that there was a Bitcoin crash in the news. Like, he was physically reading a news article on the internet that Bitcoin crashed to zero and the markets were dysfunctional. And then he dismissed it as like interesting. And then once he found out about the that we were waiting on the flash crash, he's like, why are they worried about this thing? Because it already happened. He went back to find the physical news article and couldn't find it. Like, it was like just, I don't know, dude, it was just like this, news article that never existed, but he read it. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. That's a testimony about something in the future. So where is the? I'm trying to find. Someone said that they had a dream that it's gonna happen. Uh, it was like gonna supposed to happen. Maybe it's over here in financial. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So Milton Go blog, he said that in middle of February, that once the full moon happens, the crash is gonna happen. Uh, in a dream, he saw the full moon, and so the next full moon is on February 16th. But the moon will appear full the night before and after its peak. So basically, like, according to Milton, we have until the next full moon for the crash to happen. So like maybe it'll happen middle of March, when the next full moon is, because like it says it says once the full moon happens, the crash is gonna happen. So it could be the day of the full moon, or it could be up until the next full moon. You know what I'm saying? But like that's what he was saying. And then Chris Harris is saying that it's supposed to happen in April. So there's a little bit of conflict right there. I understand. But either way, it's supposed to be happening soon, guys. If it doesn't happen by the end of April, um, then I'm going to basically like kind of shut down for a little bit, and just kind of reevaluate. But I'm expecting it to happen by the end of April. Based like that's the latest time frame we have. I'm really expecting it to happen in a couple weeks. But if it doesn't happen in a couple weeks, or in March, it should happen by the end of April. Like that's the latest we have. And if that doesn't happen, and then somebody else says it's going to be some farther pushback time frame, I mean, we've been told that it's supposed to happen now in February. So I'm thinking it should like people were getting stuff in early February that is supposed to happen now. Like the flash crash is happening now, which in the spirit could mean like a month. It could mean a day. It could mean literally now. It's supposed to happen soon. So, but soon in God's eyes is way different from soon in our eyes. So basically, like I'm saying that the final line, the deadline, really is the end of April, according to Chris Harris, because like he's the main, Bitcoin flash crash to zero voice. I think that's where I originally heard it from, was from him. Um, so, I mean, I don't know the history of the flash crash dream prophecy, but I think he was the first one. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure that he was the first one. Um, and so, maybe God's telling him a little bit more than he's telling Milton, or maybe he was deceived by a devil. I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? This Milton guy, and maybe there's the two different crashes. Maybe there's a stock market crash, and maybe there's the crypto flash crash. So those are some different interpretations. But we have until like basically like it should happen any day now up until the end of April. That's what I'm trying to say. And then after that, then it's a problem. You know what I mean? So right now we're not in a problem. Uh, so okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. Pray for Ukraine. Like, just ask God to send angels over there to help defend them. That's what I'm doing instead of physically going over there. I just feel like it's just better to, I don't know. I kind of want to go. I just, really, I just don't want to be called a coward for not going, I guess. But like at the same time, like this is a lot of money that God's trying to give us with this Bitcoin, and I feel like that changes things a little bit. But I don't know. I should go, but I don't see anybody else going, and I don't have an easy way to get there besides just going on a one-way plane ticket, basically, and then just being their problem. I don't think it's a good idea. So this is why we need the money, guys. Like we can actually have a lot more freedom to do things and can sponsor stuff like militias and stuff. So all right, guys. God guy out. Y'all have a great rest of the day.